So, interesting observation. While making my videos about science and what we could possibly do in the future, I've noticed a very strange pseudo-religious individualism that pervades public thought. And I just noticed that due to the contrasting responses from two of the subjects that I have talked about. I talked about possibly uploading a digital copy of our consciousness one day, and I've talked a lot about the speed of light and how we can't break it. And the interesting thing is which one of those people think is impossible. People push back hard against the idea that we could upload ourselves or make copies of our consciousness or something like that. But routinely, they believe that the only thing it's going to take to travel faster than light is time and knowledge. And that, I think, is largely a cultural thing. In Western civilizations, we exalt individualism. We say the individual is exceptional. We have these concepts of, the soul and something that, is core and hidden to making you you and making you unique. And so that idea of the self takes the highest priority for a bunch of people, even if they're not necessarily religious people. But science is pointing us toward copying consciousness being entirely possible. There's still a lot more we have to learn about consciousness, but we know a lot about the medium through which our consciousness works, our biochemical state, our brain. And there's nothing in laws of physics or chemistry that says we can't make a record of the chemical state of someone's brain and body and replicate that atom by atom. Meanwhile, all of our science shows that breaking the speed of light, breaking big C, the speed of causality, is impossible. Not just hard, but literally impossible by reality as we know it. The notion is magic. It's about as possible as a unicorn spontaneously showing up to my right. No unicorn. But because people still exalt the notion of self over everything else, they still believe that great people will someday find some way to break it. And like I said, I think that this has a lot less to do with science and a lot more to do with culture. Because we could see that priority of the self, of individualism being held above all. The notion that each individual person is special and capable of great things that we can't even conceive. So the answer to every scientific conundrum in this Western individualistic society is some great person somewhere down the line will just find an answer to it because people are awesome. Unless that scientific conundrum is something that devalues the essence of self, like copying consciousness. At which point it's impossible because people are too awesome to be copied. And you could take a religious angle and talk about the soul, or take a secular angle and just say that we're too quantumly complex. But overall, this culture has taught us that the individual overcomes everything. And I just find that fascinating.